Coming up on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after show.
That is off limits!
Like she's yelling at the air, like the dishes and the refrigerator. What's going on here?
I was really revved up because I just thought it was the meanest thing you could do to somebody. I couldn't fathom why anyone would pontificate on my father's memorial.
Get the out of my face. I'm so sick of your lies.
Jen was like, no more of you playing both sides. Like, you pick.
Jen wants to, be Meredith's friend so badly that it comes at any cost.
It looks like you may have had something to do with the fact that Jen was indicted.
Oh, God.
Now we know that Meredith hired a private investigator against all of us. Maybe Meredith is the informant.
Well, the feds knew that Jen was at Beauty Lab with Laser because Jen had a ping in her phone. However, they were a call in 2 minutes and maybe 15 seconds too late.
I would really find it very hard to believe that even if I were an informant, that they would tell me when and where they were arresting somebody. But I don't know, maybe they do. Some FBI agent out there, please let us know.
Drop a comment.
Mary was afraid of the pole. She's like, the pole attacked me at Whitney's house. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
I don't like stripper poles. It seems like they're full of Vaseline. If stripper pole was something, it would be another enemy of mine. It would just be like, I hate you, Mary. Okay. Your Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after show starts now.
So Whitney, at the dinner, you point blank ask Meredith about the FBI tip-off theories that have been swirling.
It looks like you may have had something to do with the fact that Jen was indicted.
Oh, God. Okay, great. Thank you. That's
I'm making that accusation.
The sense is like taking a step back. Now we know that Meredith hired a private investigator against all of us.
I submitted every single one of you to be investigated.
Maybe Meredith is the informant. Maybe she's been planted in our friend group, but I mean we all know that not to be true because she's Meredith Marks. We've known Meredith for a long time, but do you get what I'm saying? I'm just walking you through the what ifs. Do we really know? I mean, I was investigated without my knowledge.
Who knows what the deck is revealed, you know?
I just want to ask you, did you know what was going to go down that day?
Of course not.
Initially, it sounded so ridiculous because I was like, why would somebody do that? But then Meredith is over there insinuating to everybody that she's the one that had something to do with it. I mean, that's what Heather and Whitney are telling me.
How did the feds know that you were at Beauty Lab? It seems like Mary and Meredith know more than any of us.
Well, the feds knew that Jen was at Beauty Lab with Laser because Jen had a ping in her phone, and they pinged her and found out where she was at. They're not going to come all the way, 2,000 miles away to a whole nother state and not be in touch with the authorities here and not ping her phone and locate exactly where she was. However, they were, a call in 2 minutes and maybe 15 seconds too late.
We're looking for Jen Shaw.
She just left.
Because she got out of there, but they know, I mean, are they serious? I mean, they don't think their cell phones can be tracked?
I didn't even have the information to turn Jen into the FBI. I didn't know. Yes, things didn't add up to me. I thought things were off, but I certainly don't have access to the things that the FBI does. So I think the FBI knew a lot more about Jennifer Shaw than I ever did or will know. I've never actually spoken to the FBI about anything, but I would really find it very hard to believe that even if I were an informant, that they would tell me when and where they were arresting somebody. I just think that's a little odd, but I don't know, maybe they do. I doubt it though, very highly. Some FBI agent out there, please let us know.
Drop a comment.
Exactly, let us know, I'm curious.
How can anyone tell them when they've been watching you since 2008? It's really? I mean, was we born in 2000? I don't think you were born, Chris, in 2008. It's like really, and you're gonna get all the way to where she's in her city and not know where she's at. You have to have, no one called.
I did not turn Jen into the FBI, but I will say this: do I forgive and move on? Yes, I do. Do I forget? No, I do not. Do I hold grudges? Absolutely not. What I do, is establish boundaries, and I put you in the place you belong. And no, you want to play games? Don't worry. I'll play right back. Do not come after my family.
So, Lisa, you wake up to some unexpected guests after Club Zion.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, go back to sleep. It's not time yet.
Are we in Lisa's room?
Yes.
I like my space, Chris. Like, I'm an adult. Like, I don't share hotel rooms with my girlfriends on girls' night. My kids have their own room when we go on vacation. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Meredith's in my bed, in my room. Jen and Whitney are in the bed next to me, and I'm like, literally like dying.
What happened after Club Zion?
Well, a lot of the women didn't want to stay up as late. We were just kind of annoyed. And so I remember trying to break into Heather's room. She locked us out. She would not let us in.
I did not want to hang out for a minute longer. I was over it.
Heather reaches a point and she's like, you guys can kiss my ass. I am sleeping. I don't want to deal with any of your nonsense and shenanigans, right? So I had a great idea. Like, listen, let's just bust the door down and then we'll just buy a new door. Like, that was my logic, okay? I was like, we can split the door. Like, how much is it gonna cost? It's a new door. Are you gonna go halves in with me? And Whitney's like, yeah.
We grabbed a chair. And we were about to ram the chair through your door. Then finally, I was like, wait, this is a bad idea.
I think Jen even got a bobby pin and tried to pick the lock at one point.
So I'm pulling out bobby pins. We're trying to pick the lock. We grabbed pillows out of the other room. We were holding them as like a barricade, and then running full speed into the door, but with the pillow so we wouldn't break our arm.
I was laying still, I was literally not breathing. If I breathe or move, they'll know I'm awake. But I heard them trying to ram my door, and then I quietly grabbed my phone. I'm like, they're trying to break into my room. I feel unsafe.
So then we go up to my room, and I'm like, where's Mary? So my goal was to go get anybody I could out of bed, okay? Because the night's not over. On the way, we also picked up these horsehair brushes, which they thought they felt really good to brush. I don't know. Anyway, we had the horsehair brushes.
They broke into my room. They was rubbing my face with a horse tail thing.
She loved it that we were brushing her. She did like that part. I don't know if she loved being woken up, but she loved being brushed.
And they were lit, okay? To the point where they didn't have to, if we was to leave that night, they didn't need to clean the alcohol out because they already did. They were walking around in bikinis.
Look, we're in bikinis. Meredith looks like she's in a lingerie, okay? Not like Victoria's Secret. She was wearing Fredericks from Hollywood lingerie. And then Whitney's in her bikini. And then I'm in a bright fluorescent bikini. But at least I think I had a cover up on.
They looked hot. They looked great. But they had no clue what they were doing. They begged me to take them to Vegas in the ABT with no windshield, no windows. And they're like, please, Mary, you're going to be our designated driver.
Jen and I get this idea to go to Vegas because Vegas is only an hour and a half away. So we went down to the ATVs and we're looking for the keys because we had this idea. Mary wasn't drinking. Mary could be our DD to Vegas.
They begged me for half an hour. And Meredith even checked on me to see if I was getting ready. She came back and checked on me are you going to take us? I'm like, sweetheart, you get me a car, I will take you to Vegas. I'm not taking you to Vegas in the ABT. And then Jen starts eating a sandwich over my blouse.
We're eating sandwiches too. Whitney starts laughing, spits up her roast beef, and it lands on Mary.
I was like, wow.
And so we ran out of there because I wasn't hanging around for that. I was like, yeah, Mary doesn't like germs, and you just spit up your regurgitated roast beef sandwich on her.
So then I think we went up to Lisa, who had also locked us out, but we found that she had an entrance off an exterior terrace that went around the whole house. So we got on the terrace through my room and went around and finagled our way in.
We're crawling on the floor because I don't know who we were hiding from at that hour, but we thought we were ninjas right then. And so we were creeping and hiding. And I bust in through her patio door and I go, Lisa. And she jumps up and she starts laughing hysterically. She's like, Jen Shaw, what the f?
I love to have fun, but I'm like, I need to go to bed. Like, I have not slept in 2 days. I need to sleep. They did not let me sleep. I literally was like, get out of my room.
We fell asleep and we woke up in our bikinis and we were like ready to go to the pool.
That actually made me really happy, is I was like, okay, they're good. They had so much fun. That made me so happy. It came at the expense of me not getting a good night's sleep, but it made me happy.
Let's talk about Club Zion.
Oh my gosh, that was a nice break, Chris. I like wanted it and needed that so badly.
Oh, whoa.
I was playing bartender a little bit. We were dancing on the tables. Whitney brought her pole.
I successfully got every woman on the pole.
Look, I had my first time on the pole. I mean, it was kind of hard. I was, it takes a little bit of strength and coordination.
I mean, Meredith has style.
Mary was afraid of the pole. She's like, the pole attacked me at Whitney's house. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
I don't like stripper poles. They just seem gross to me. They seem like they're full of Vaseline. They just seem like there's like 1,000 handprints. And I just feel like if stripper pole was something, it would be another enemy of mine. It would just be like, I hate you, Mary. Okay, that's not my thing. But other than that, I love that night.
I loved how we all got to do our little catwalk, show off our moves. I think it was a big moment for everyone to just finally let loose after all the bullshit.
If every night was like Club Zion, I think it would be much better. It was so fun.
We kind of put our hair down, dance, just have fun, just be in that moment and not think about anything. And I saw Mary dance, which is, wow, Mary actually is smiling and having fun. That's great.
You know, I was dancing and I was dancing with Lisa, I was dancing with Meredith, even though I had to leave Meredith on the dance floor because Meredith, those 2 steps was not getting it. Sorry, I was like, no, Mary. And she's like, I know you why you left me on the dance floor. I was like, well, at least you knew. It's very important that you know. I loved it. I think we had a fabulous time. I think it was different and we needed it. They could have did better music though, but it's okay. We worked with what we had and I enjoyed it. Even though that was the night I realized Heather was so nasty to me because I went to like hug her or something and she jerked her body and I was like, oh, she's mad at me.
I was not having a great time. I really wasn't. The only reason I'm going to shake my ass around a pole is to like get laid. And I was there with 5 women. Or 6 women. So it was like, why am I getting dressed up and drinking and dancing on a pole for you all? You know what I mean? Like I only do this for one objective. And that objective is not going to be realized.
See, and Heather's perspective solidifies why I get so much shit for the pole. Because for me, it's not about getting laid. It's not about a man watching. For me, it's how I feel. And I just wanted all my friends to feel that too.
Well, I didn't feel it, Whit. I did not feel it.
You just validated all the haters' points, babe.
The first night in Zion ends in a good place.
I can't take anymore.
But the next morning, things take a turn really quickly.
You all can spew lies about me all day and night. Do not bring my sister or my father into it.
Okay, Chris, I promise you, I woke up like about 9 o'clock and Meredith was screaming at the air.
Maybe I just need to go upstairs and call the CIA on somebody. I'm sorry, I'm busy now. I can't talk.
She was on the phone and she was yelling at the top of her voice, only for me to run down the stairs to see there was no one there. So I'm like, why is Meredith this upset? Like she's yelling at the air, like the dishes and the refrigerator. What's going on here?
I was so upset. I was probably screaming. I don't really know. I was definitely talking loud and aggressively. That much I do know.
You all love talking about me. Keep going. Meredith, there's no lie. Call the CIA while I'm at it.
Meredith's yelling in the kitchen.
For Whitney, I think I see like scurrying from her bedroom to the bathroom.
What I do remember is Meredith in the kitchen screaming for all of us to come down. Because she's like, if you want to talk, let's talk about it.
And poor Whitney was like, probably like, I just want to pee, leave me alone. I just woke up.
I came and got in your bed. I'm like, act asleep.
She didn't even acknowledge me, and that was probably very smart disengagement, Whitney.
I didn't want to be alone in my bed. I could hear the yelling. I was closer to the kitchen.
And we put the blankets over her head like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then Jen comes running down because she's like, what's going on? Do you remember?
I was so disgusted and out of sorts at like 3 a.m. or some ungodly hour. Lisa came into my room and she started telling me that on the Sprinter van that there was all this, speculation surrounding my father's memorial.
Well, she missed the first trip because of her dad's memorial.
Do you think that's true, though? Do you guys think that's the truth?
If I had lied about it because I had turned Jen in and didn't want to be there while she was arrested, that I apparently knew that that's when the arrest would be, which sounds very far-fetched. I was really revved up because I just thought it was the meanest thing you could do to somebody. I couldn't fathom why anyone would speculate and pontificate on my father's memorial.
She told me the night before that she wasn't going to be there, so I assumed it was because she had to go to her memorial in Aspen. But then when you called her, you were like, she's in the middle of her memorial.
It was just beyond my comprehension.
We started to talk to each other why weren't Mary and Meredith there? And what are our friends not telling us? It's starting to look like these women were had a vendetta against Jen.
My son was being threatened. I hired a private investigator when this happened.
Oh my
and the
gosh.
investigator told me he thought it was extraordinarily likely that it was coming from Jen.
And might have been privy to evidence or things that would have indicted her that we had no idea of because we were gobsmacked with this information. And for other people to be like, I suspected it.
She's been arrested for fraud.
Honestly, I'm not surprised by this.
It makes you question, well, what brochure am I not reading in our friend group? We clearly didn't have all the information.
The night before, there had been, mention of me turning her in.
It looks like you may have had something to do with the fact that Jen was indicted.
But they really hadn't couched it in terms of me lying about my father's memorial. And that just set me off beyond belief.
Family, that is off limits!
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna definitely hang in the kitchen.
I'm upset. Please, Lisa, I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to yell and scream.
And I was a raging lunatic. And I'm glad that cameras weren't up for most of it.
The screaming part was funny though, because Meredith was yelling at the walls and it's like, Meredith, you gotta wake them up first. And yell to their face. Don't yell to their spirits or whatever's going on.
The first dinner in Zion was beyond intense. There was so much yelling, storming off, first aid kits were thrown.
I think that would have been me.
With your friend Jenny right there.
Sounds likely.
She threw something at me.
Yeah. You got up from the table and then
I remember Lisa being like, and you threw the first aid kit. And I was like, okay, well, probably because you guys keep lying. And I'm sick of sitting here, listening to this bullshit. And Jenny was really pissing me off because she has all this to say.
You told me she hired a private investigator to investigate me. That's what you said.
And then now she doesn't really, she's backing up off of what she said.
I said your name come up. She said
You told me she said it.
No, I did not say that. Oh my God. Okay, fine.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not what we do here. You brought it to me or you brought it to anyone in the group and now back up what you said.
Thursday kid got thrown? Did it get her? Did it get Jenny? Okay, that's what. Did it hit her? How come I don't know anything about this? I want to know what's going on. I want to know things are thrown.
Why was there even a first aid kit at the table?
Yes, it was so funny.
Jen broke her toe, and we were trying to fix
Yeah,
her
on the
toe.
labyrinth.
Yes.
When we're done doing our, Kumbaya, my Lord ceremony, it's dark. And the lady turns to me and Heather, she's like, lead the ladies out. It's the blind leading the blind at this point, okay? So we are walking out of this labyrinth. I have on these open-toed shoe things. Heather has on full knee-high boots, okay? She's protected. I'm not. So I'm following Heather. We can't see a damn thing. And everyone else is following us. I trip over the stone wall and I think that's when I broke my toe.
Jen did break her toe. I know I had Chanel really cute white sneakers and I was stressed they were gonna get dirty. And so I took them off and I was barefoot and I cut my toe on the bottom. And this is when we were giving thanks to Mother Earth. And then I could be wrong, but I remember Jenny was bleeding.
Yeah, I wasn't bleeding.
I don't remember that part, Chris. I'm sorry. There was way too much going on. Who cares? Throw that first aid kit.
What were you ladies thinking watching Meredith and Jen fight the first night in Zion?
I wanted resolution. I didn't care who won. I just wanted it to stop.
Keep laughing, Meredith.
Really, Jen?
Yes.
I'll pull up the text. I'll pull up all this shit. Really?
I'll pull up on the text. I didn't do anything to you.
When Jen started going after Meredith, I wanted them to just say what they'd both been holding back for so long and just say it and get it out there and fix it. And also, I wanted to see how Lisa was going to react because I felt like she'd been playing both sides for as long as humanly possible, and it kind of hit a fever moment on the bus.
You treat Meredith differently than you treat me and everyone else.
Jen was like, no more of you playing both sides. Like, you pick right now.
Jen, I don't know what you're going through.
Thank you so much for being there for me today.
I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. I had a clear conscience in all of that. Meredith and Jen have a very clear issue. They both wanted to say more, both Jen and Meredith, and they didn't. And then they would like throw out these little jabs. I think Jen wasn't taking accountability for herself. She was in some ways super direct.
I would like to know, Meredith, why you hired a private investigator to research about me.
And in other ways, deflecting.
She brought it up to me, and that's why I brought it up to you. And now she's saying no. I'm
Please
sorry.
stop yelling.
It's like everything's getting conflated, confused, misdirected, and then people that are like innocent in the situation are being blamed.
That's what you said.
Listen, she just clarified it. She just.
Well, then tell her you're sorry for it up.
It starts getting escalated because Lisa and Jenny start backtracking on what was said.
You told me when we met, you said Meredith hired a private investigator. That's why I brought it up tonight.
I never said you did anything.
Yes, you did.
Let's just say what is going on here. Let's stop all the BS. Like, let's just talk about what's going on.
We're just trying to be civil and bring you guys together and clear the air. So to me, it was like beyond uncomfortable. Literally, I mean, that was a conversation that like Jen and Meredith needed to have, just not in that way, and nobody else should have been brought into it.
We were there for her. We have her back. And to see what she's doing to us was so irritating. I was so mad. I was like, you know what? This is not the Jen I want to be around. This is not the genuine Jen that I expected. And I distanced myself. I don't want to talk to you at this moment. I am very angry. I might do something I will regret or say something I will regret. And so therefore, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to leave because this is so toxic to me, what she's doing.
I feel like Jen wants validation and seeking Meredith's approval so badly that it comes at any cost. She like desperately wants to like be Meredith's friend, and I don't understand the dynamic because it's not positive from either direction. And at the expense of me and Jenny.
Get the out of my face. I'm so sick of your lies.
Okay, I didn't lie.
Yeah, you're a liar, Lisa.
Jenny and I are literally the recipients of all of their hostility and anger. Take it out on each other. You two are the ones with the problem. You just ruined our Mother's Day trip. We didn't ruin yours. I know Jenny cried that night. I went and checked on you in your room and you were sobbing. And I work a lot. I value my free time. And I'm like, you're taking this away from me, my children. I just want to have fun. Thanks for like, you know, buzzkill.
Yeah.
So Jen, how did you and Meredith go from fighting at the dinner table
Get out of my face. You're just
to hugging it out in her room?
I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore.
I walked in there and I was like, listen, Meredith, I think I asked her again, like, did you do this? And she's like, no, of course not. And I told her, I said, well, it sounded so ridiculous when I first heard this.
How did the feds know that you were at Beauty Lab?
because that's why I need to know, did you do that? And she's like, no. And then we had like a pretty good conversation. I mean, where we were able to at least talk without Meredith storming off or not wanting to talk.
I have been very honest. I have an immense amount of compassion for you. And I don't, I don't want to see your family suffer. I don't want to see anybody suffer. Look, I feel bad for Jen. Like, I think it's a horrible situation to be in. And if she's guilty, obviously I have a lot less compassion for her. You reap what you sow, you know. If she did these things, she's getting what she deserves at the end of the day. But it's still a horrible, horrible situation for somebody to be in. I
was able to talk to her and have like a little bit of closure, at least one-on-one, and Mary was there.
I'm a person that goes with the moment. I kind of maneuver with what feels right in that moment. It doesn't matter if, 10 minutes ago we were fussing and fighting. If your energies change, I will change with it. And I feel like in that moment, Jen just needed someone to talk to. Like, I don't know. She looked pitiful to me. And maybe a part of me feels sorry for her as I do that, which I felt like it's kind of weak. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think she received me at all. Like, she still has that, Mary. But I'm gonna do my part, and I'm gonna make sure at the end of the day that I can rest at night. I can go to sleep at night, and I'm doing the right thing.
I have no interest in bringing more pain to Jen. I don't want to cause more problems for her. I just want to have my own space away from her. That's it. Whatever unfolds is what's meant to be, and if she is guilty, then she'll have to deal with that. And if she's not guilty, then, good for her. But it's not my problem.
In a group of friends, we should be able to have the difficult discussions, talk about it, scream, yell, whatever. But at the end of the day, the goal is to move on and have some resolution. It's not to stay mad and everything. And we're all here together. So let's go have some fun. Like, I'm not wasting the Zion trip, okay? So if you want to be grumpy, okay, if you want to be negative Nancy, go ahead. When you decide to turn into positive Polly, come join us at the club.